Andrés de AA Sports, la selección femenil de México played a two-game series versus New Zealand and won the series 3-0 on aggregate. Mexico won the first game by a score of only 1-0 and then won 2-0 in the second game while keeping New Zealand scoreless. The score, particularly in the first game, really doesn't do Mexico justice in terms of showing how much better Mexico was in these two games. New Zealand, while they were good defensively, outside of three moments, they really did not create that much that made them a threat offensively. And Mexico's strong defense only made it harder for them to create scoring opportunities. Meanwhile, Mexico had countless chances to score, but it seemed they could only put three in the back of the net in these two games. From shots that were blocked by the goalkeeper, shots that went wide or just over the crossbar, to shots that actually hit the crossbar, Mexico just could not score more than 2 goals in 90 minutes in either game. Some of it was bad luck for Mexico, but there were also aspects offensively that left more to be desired in the first game. Nevertheless, 1 goal was enough for the Mexico women's national team to win in Mexico City. And in the second game in Ciudad Juárez, La Selección Femenil played much better with 2 new players on the starting 11. And this time they won in a more convincing result. Mexico wins the 2-game series and continues their good form. 9 games without losing so far. Final score, Mexico wins their 2-game series versus New Zealand 3-0, 3-0 on aggregate. Here are the performance grades for La Selección Femenil de Mexico in this 2-game series. Starting off with the goalkeepers, my grade for the goalkeepers, A. Estefany Barreras had a couple of good interventions in the first game where she was the starting goalkeeper. The first was on a corner kick where she punched the ball out of the box. And the second where she came out from the net to clear the ball out of danger as well. And on the one shot on target from New Zealand in the 63rd minute, Barreras made the diving save to stop New Zealand from scoring. Overall, Barreras went through the motions well without any mistakes. And in Ciudad Juárez for the second game, it was Itzel Velasco, the 21-year-old goalkeeper for Club America, who got to make her national team debut as the goalkeeper in the second game. Very exciting to see new players, new blood, get an opportunity like this. Velasco also had a very good game in my opinion, and like Barreras, had a couple of good interventions in her debut. Players always want to make a good impression in their first games, and Velasco, I thought, did just that. She might be a better prospect than Celeste Espino for all we know. Defenders, A+ grade. Granted, they weren't tested that much in the first game by New Zealand's offensive front. Nevertheless, you play against a team that shows up on the field, and in the first game, Mexico's defenders did well in not getting complacent, and they kept New Zealand out of their side of the field for most of this game. Mexico's only goal of the game also came from the center backs in that first game, with Alia Farmer scoring her first goal for Mexico. Congratulations to Alia Farmer on that accomplishment. She is starting to look like a really good defensive player for this Mexico women's team. And in the second game, just like in the goalkeeper position, we had another new player making her debut for Mexico, right back Ivonne Gutierrez. And I thought she had a really solid debut. She had a couple of tackles won and was very good defensively, just like her defensive teammates. In this second game, the defenders once again kept New Zealand scoreless, and while they did allow New Zealand to enter their side of the field more in the second half, they still conceded very few shots on target, intercepting many crosses and blocking a couple of shots as well. Once again, 2 solid performances from the defense and a great first game for Gutierrez. Midfielders, B+. In the first game, Rebecca Bernal was the starting defensive midfielder and contributed the assist on the play that resulted in the goal by Farmer. However, it was attacking midfielder Lisbeth Ovalle who was arguably the best midfielder in that game. She created several scoring opportunities and would mostly take the shot herself. With a bit more luck and slightly better shots on target, she probably would have had a goal in that first game. However, this also left more to be desired from Ovalle. Again, she would mostly keep the ball and take the shot herself and never really passed the ball to open teammates in the second half. She was good individually, but didn't do well working as part of the team in this game. As for the second game, Ovalle entered in the second half as a substitute, and kind of like the first game, she was active offensively and this time more willing to distribute the ball, but didn't have the luck on her side to score a fourth goal for Mexico. Ali Soto was the starting attacking midfielder in the second game, and while she didn't score or have really any dangerous shots on target, I thought to some extent that she actually had a better game as the starting 10 than Ovalle did. She was able to hold on to possession of the ball very well. She had a lot of accurate passes, much more than Ovalle, and was able to create a lot of opportunities offensively. I hope she gets called up for their upcoming qualifiers, and I think Ali Soto is even good enough to be a consistent starter now for this Mexico team. Maria Sanchez was also a starting midfielder in the second game and made her presence known offensively. She scored the third of Mexico's 3 goals in these games. It was definitely a lucky goal as the ball actually deflected off her back as New Zealand's defenders tried to clear her initial shot on target. The defenders then tried to clear the deflection, but it was too late. The ball had crossed the goal line, and Maria Sanchez was able to score her first goal in 2 years for La Selección Femenil. Congrats to Maria Sanchez on that. Moving on to the offensive front, I'm giving the offensive front a B grade. In the first game, they would create plays, but their lack of passing the ball to each other when they were open, I think, did in part contribute to why Mexico did not score more goals in that game. They were also the ones who missed shots wide or over the crossbar the most, which was also not a great look given at least 2 were perfect opportunities to score. Just like Ovalle, the wingers were good individually, but the offensive front didn't work well as a team in that first game. Diana Ordóñez was probably the worst player on the field in the first game. She looked like a ghost in comparison to Ovalle and Montse Saldivar, who came in as a substitute in the second half of that game. However, in the second game, I will say the offensive front looked much better. Montse Saldivar was the starting left winger this time, and in her performance, I saw all that I needed to come to the conclusion that, like Ali Soto, not only should Saldivar be getting called up every time going forward now, but she is more than good enough to be in this starting 11. She was very creative offensively from the left side of the field and provided multiple good services into the box, and also had the assist on that goal scored by Maria Sanchez. The teammate chemistry Saldivar has with Soto is incredible, and their passing and offensive creativity was awesome to watch in that second game. As for Diana Ordóñez, she was the starting striker in both games, and after a non-existent performance in Game 1, she had a much better performance in Ciudad Juárez, scoring the first goal of the second game off a good set play by Mexico. However, she still missed some good opportunities created by Montse Saldivar, especially in the second half. While Ordóñez has the potential to be an excellent striker, like she has been with Tigres, Ordóñez is, to describe it best, a bit like Alexis Vega right now. She is still yet to find that same good and consistent form that she has at the club level with the Mexico national team. The striker position will be a position to watch, in my opinion, in regards to good and bad form, and you wonder what adjustments Pedro Lopez will make to add depth to the 9 position. Moving on to the head coach, B+ grade. Once again, the defense and midfield were great in these games, and there is really nothing to complain about regarding Pedro Lopez's system in the midfield and defensively. Offensively, you have to imagine that he did not like how the players didn't really move the ball around well among themselves, and how Montse, Ovalle, Delgadillo, nobody was trying to pass the ball into the attacking third and work as a team in that first game. This was surely something that he worked with the team on in practice, and it paid off because the team was passing the ball around better and offensively looked better in the second game. As for the striker position, Pedro Lopez made a bold move, what many people saw as a bold move, in leaving Licha Cervantes off the roster during the Women's Gold Cup in 2024. Pedro Lopez seeing Licha Cervantes as an older player that did not fit in his style of play. He has not called her up at all over the last 2 years, in fact. While Mexico's competitive performance in that tournament and in the Pinatar Cup has shown that having a younger team has mostly worked out well, you can't entirely say that regarding the striker position. If Ordóñez keeps performing at this inconsistent pace, really good in one game but then a ghost in the next 2, he might have to reconsider his stance on Licha Cervantes and maybe bring her back to the team. It's either that, or maybe he calls up another player like Mayra Pelayo, or he puts Ovalle at the 9 position and has Ali Soto start as the attacking midfielder. Regardless, having Ordóñez as the starting striker is not working consistently. And while I do think Ordóñez is still good enough to be on the team, there needs to be a roster adjustment to add depth here in this striker position. And it will be very interesting to see what decision he makes regarding the striker position as the coach. While the striker position is up for debate, one positive thing I do want to add is how Pedro Lopez is willing to make changes and believe in the young players on the roster. He noticed how offensively the players were not distributing the ball among themselves and were not working as a team in the first game offensively. So in the second game, he starts Ali Soto and Montse Saldivar, who have great teammate chemistry, and we saw that in their performances as starters. And the ball distribution and passing improved, which was why the team was able to perform better in the second game. Also in the second game, the 2 new players he called up, Velasco and Gutierrez, not only were they given playing time, but Pedro Lopez included them in the starting 11. That's one of the reasons why I find this team exciting to watch right now, because whenever a new player gets called up, Pedro Lopez will give them some sort of playing time and is willing to believe in them and give them an opportunity. Unlike some coaches in this sport who are sometimes very reluctant or hesitant to do so. And if they play well, Lopez will call them up again, as we have seen with Alia Farmer. You got to give credit to Pedro Lopez and what he has built with this team. Under his tenure, this has become a much more exciting and competitive Mexico women's national team. And right now, I like their chances of being able to qualify for 2027. Well, final score, 3-0 on aggregate. The Mexico women's team wins both of their games versus New Zealand. And for an overall team grade, I am giving them a B+. Mexico was definitely the better team. I expected 2 wins in these games, and yes, they won both games. However, they missed their opportunities, in my opinion, to make the score reflect that they were clearly the better team. Nevertheless, the team got the good results that matter. They got 2 wins, and they continue their run of excellent form as they have not lost any of their last 9 games. And in their last 9 games, La Selección Femenil has won 7 of them. 7 of the last 9 games. A very positive sign for this young and motivated team that is set to play their first World Cup qualifying game during the next international window. With that, that will be all for this video, guys. Leave your opinions on the games in the comments section below. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, leave a like on the video and subscribe to support this channel and stay informed on news regarding Mexico's national teams. With that, thank you so much for watching and listening. And as always, Viva Mexico!